Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So people, I don't like to brag about weight loss because it's so competitive and it can make people feel bad about themselves. And that is not my intention. But I do want to say I lost half a pound today. What? I got my eyebrows done. Those eyebrows weigh half a pound. I ain't playing. What a blessing, right? We finally moved out of one of the tiers, and so we were able to have places open for a minute. And I snuck right in there and got my eyebrows done. Didn't even tell my husband. He doesn't notice things like that, which is fine with me. But yes, I got my eyebrows done and lost half a pound. Thank you, God. The girl did a good job. Seriously, it is not easy. I mean, I offered to donate, those people who donate 10 inches of hair, I could donate my eyebrows to cancer patients or whoever. No one takes me up on it, but I've got those eyebrows for days, as does, praise God, my mother's very much alive, as does my mother. It was kind of funny. Brooke Shields, who's an eyebrow girl, was like 6 months older than me. And Liz Taylor, another eyebrow girl, was about 6 months older than my mom. Older than my mom or younger? Liz exited the planet. Anyway, they're about 6 months apart as well. But yeah, we used to always get talked about when I was a hottie when I was younger, and they'd say, "You remind me of Brooke Shields." And I'm like, nothing gets between me and my Calvins. You guys are way too young to understand that. It's all good. All right, people, we're about to have a power outage. We had one last night. That one was completely unexpected, and we were by no means prepared, but apparently they gave a heads up. So they said at about 10:20, there will be another power outage for a few hours. I was distraught because what happened was the power went out, and when we finally realized that it had come back on, we didn't know to reboot. I can't think. Reset, reboot, whatever, the fridge. And so it could have come back on, and instead it was off for like 6 hours. And hello, vegan, raw vegan. I mean, luckily no one was opening and closing the fridge, but I got a lot of frozen fruit in there. I've got my plant in there, and I was just like, oh no, I mean, please, it looks like it fared okay, but tonight we are more than prepared, and we know to reset the fridge this time, straight up. So anyway, that's going to be happening in a few minutes, but of course I wanted to check in with my JVV community. It's Jules Blessed Vegan, for those not in the know. Just to keep it brief, I am going to say yes, I was completely clean with my eating today. I kept my eye on the prize. I kept thinking about all the delicious things I had waiting for me at home, and I was happy for that. And I had to go to the orthodontist. He said my teeth are coming along lovely. Got new sets of Invisalign, so they're super sore. I'm giving myself a break for a moment right now. And because my tongue gets infected and stuff, a couple of things we figured out, which was to actually let the Invisalign Air, so take them out of the package and let them just aerate or be in the air for a few weeks or for however long I can, and also to soak them like overnight before I put in the new pair in something like vinegar and baking soda. And part of that is because they're actually dipped in like some antibacterial compound or something, which may be why my mouth tends to break out. And that was a really good insight. And then I decided that since I have to pay for 2 years anyway, and I'm only wearing them, at the time it was going to be for about 14 months, that I would be more patient with myself. And instead of flipping out, making sure I had them in exactly 22.5 hours a day and blah, 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 that I would go ahead and take them out for longer if I had to. That I would take them out in the middle of the night if my mouth was burning or feeling infected. And my orthodontist was okay with that. And he was like, you know what, if you have to wear them for 3 weeks at a time instead of 2, I'm okay with that. No matter what, even with that, it should pan out. I'm trying to think about that. I have like 12 pairs left, 1 extra week each, 4 extra months. Yeah, I mean, that's still only going to put it at like 18 or 19 months, ain't nothing to spare my mouth and to get my teeth, right? So I'm going to do it. I'm going to just be patient with myself. I feel blessed for that. All right. So this is one I wanted to share, which was the icon for this video. It's by Dolores Huerta, who actually was I don't want to say a sidekick. This is what comes to mind for me. Sidekick, partner in crime. How about advocate, Juliana? Yeah, an advocate for civil rights. How about that? With Cesar Chavez, right? Who helped all the immigrants who worked in the fields and things, and largely in California. And Dolores Huerta was right around the same time, and they both celebrated right around the same time, which, if I remember, is like March 29th. I think they have a day that they share, and that's actually Cesar Chavez's birthday. Forgive me if I'm off a day here or there, but it's pretty much right. And both of them were civil rights activists and wanted to make sure that there were things like unions, right, for laborers, and that people were being heard. And to the point of course, protesting. In the 1970s, they actually had a boycott on grapes, which was very hard on the California economy. Are you kidding me? And it could be likened to Rosa Parks when, after she refused to give up her seat on the bus, they had what was called the Montgomery bus boycott. And for a little over a year, many of the people, not just African American, but primarily African American, but also just many, many people who believed in the cause, refused to take the bus. They were like, I'm not giving you my 50 cents. I'd rather walk. I'd rather ride with a friend. I'd rather take my bike. You down a pocketbook? Things are going to change. And that certainly happened with the bus system, giving rights, more rights, let's just say, to all colored people at the time. And with Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez, many of those people got their needs met as well. We have so far to go, but yay them. Anyway, that said, this came off of my, is it called Earth, Good Earth? Yeah, off my little Good Earth tea bag. I love that. For me, it reminds me of Cracker Jacks. And getting the little prize in there. It used to be a real prize. Now it's just like a little paper comic strip or something. But it kind of reminds me of that. I love opening up the Good Earth because I know there's going to be some quote. And this one reads, if you haven't forgiven yourself for something, how can you forgive others? If you haven't forgiven yourself for something, how can you forgive others? It's really interesting to me because I'm actually quite talented at holding myself accountable, holding myself hostage, being far less compassionate with myself than with others. I have often negotiated forgiveness for others on the same crime I refuse to let go for myself. And some people claim that to be arrogance, It's kind of like that idea that rather than understanding that Jesus and God are bigger than your sin and that they are quite capable of forgiveness, it's holding on to that sin and deciding that it's too big. I mean, God can forgive a ton of things, but he can't forgive this one. No, this one's way too big. This one's just, it's darker than any other that's ever been created ever. And it's like, really? Not only is that like a huge put down to the creator of the universe, who is completely unconditional in his love for his creation, but it's arrogant and it justifies staying in the same place. So I'm half wondering, is my arrogance, if you have not forgiven yourself something, how can you forgive others? I have to pray about that. I forgive people so easily. And so completely. I have some people in my life who have a running tally all the time on how much I owe or how much they've done for me or they remember dates and remember years. I never can remember because I'm just so excited in the moment to give. I can't even imagine. Well, don't you remember that I gave you this and then I did that for you? And what about when I did that? And I'm like, wow, not my truth. Okay, not my truth. For me, it's so beautiful, and it's only because I'm 2 years younger than God and I've been on the planet a really long time, that people get back to me now. And some beautiful people that I love so much that are far older than I am, and some younger people. And they get back to me and say, I still have that thing you gave me, Juliana. I still have that. Remember that time you helped me with? Oh, I'll never forget the. And I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, I guess I remember. Like, it's really interesting. I don't really credit myself or stay present when it comes to praise or when it comes to seeing the grace in certain things that I have been privy and part of giving or easing someone's burden. It's always a surprise to me. Oh my gosh, but it's a lovely surprise. And maybe I'll get better at it. If you haven't forgiven yourself something, how can you forgive others? Well, I can forgive others by God's grace. I can chronically forgive others by God's grace. The ability to forgive myself for things, I'm a work in progress. I'm open to bettering in that area. I feel like I'm pretty good friends with myself right now, but I'm sure I have issues. But right now, issues or not, I got my eyebrows done and I'm stoked. TikTok, my friends, the power is about to go out. I have got to finish this right now. But I wanted to check in. Like if you like, join us if you haven't subscribed. Let me come up. Let me. I was going to tease myself for getting caught up on my mouth and I don't even have my Invisalign in. It still happens. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. Good save, Jules. Good save. Yeah, how I can support you. Can you relate to the Invisalign stuff at all? Are you familiar with anyone else with that infection or anything? How do you like Dolores Huerta in that comment right there? If you haven't forgiven yourself something, how can you forgive others? Do you hold people hostage because of your inability to forgive yourself? I'd love to know. And until we talk again, hope you have power where you are. And if you do, indeed, you are blessed.